Have you ever looked at someone in their 70s and thought, they did everything right? So why are they struggling now? And what if one of the biggest mistakes destroying health, independence, and happiness after 70, in smoking, isn't junk food, and isn't even lack of exercise? What if it's something millions of Americans have been taught to do their entire lives, a habit so normal, so accepted, that most people never question it? Today, we're sharing the story of a couple who were married for 60 years, a couple who did almost everything society told them to do. They raised children. Built a stable life, saved money, stayed out of trouble. Yet today, when they look back, there's one decision that haunts them every single day. And here's the disturbing part: the same mistake may already be affecting you right now. Not tomorrow. Not 10 years from now. Today. So stay with me, because the real problem doesn't start at 70. It starts decades earlier, and almost nobody sees it coming. Before we continue, if you care about living longer, staying independent, and protecting your future, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. These videos are designed to help you make better decisions before it's too late. Let's go back to the beginning. Most major problems people experience after 70 don't suddenly appear. Researchers have spent decades studying aging, and one of the most important discoveries came from long-term studies that followed adults for 30, 40, and even 50 years. Scientists noticed something fascinating. The people who aged best weren't always the healthiest in their 20s. They weren't necessarily the richest. They weren't always the most educated. Instead, they shared something else, something hidden, something many doctors didn't fully appreciate until recent decades. But before we reveal it, let's look at how the problem begins. Most Americans enter adulthood focused on achievement: build a career, buy a home, raise a family. Pay the bills. Keep moving. And during those years, something quietly happens. Relationships slowly become secondary. People tell themselves they'll reconnect later. They'll visit friends after retirement. They'll spend more time with family when work slows down. They'll make new connections someday. But someday rarely arrives. According to multiple American health surveys, social connections begin shrinking for many adults as early as their 30s. At first, the changes are invisible. No warning signs. No symptoms. No pain. Just fewer phone calls, fewer visits, fewer meaningful conversations, and life keeps moving forward. Then the 40s arrive. This is where the pattern becomes more dangerous. Stress increases. Parents age. Children become more independent. Careers demand more time. The average American becomes busier than ever, and something surprising begins happening inside the body. Researchers studying chronic stress discovered that prolonged isolation and social disconnection can affect inflammation, blood pressure, sleep quality, and even immune function. Not because people are lonely every day, but because humans were never designed to function completely alone. This finding shocked many researchers. For years, medicine focused heavily on diet, exercise, and medications. Those factors matter enormously. But scientists began uncovering evidence that social health may be just as important. Still, most people ignored the warning signs because nothing dramatic was happening yet. The real shift comes after age 70. And this is where the story of the couple begins. After 60 years of marriage, they expected retirement to be their reward. More freedom. More relaxation. More enjoyment. But something unexpected happened. People around them started disappearing. Friends moved away. Neighbors passed away. Social circles became smaller. Family members became busier. The routines that once created connection slowly vanished. At first, it seemed normal. After all, everyone experiences change. But then small cracks started appearing. The husband became less active. The wife became less engaged. Days felt longer. Energy declined. Motivation faded. Neither understood why. Medical tests showed no major problems. Doctors focused on symptoms. Yet something deeper was happening beneath the surface. This pattern ain't rare. According to national surveys, Millions of older Americans report increased social isolation as they age, and researchers at several leading institutions have found links between chronic loneliness and increased risks for heart disease, cognitive decline, depression, and reduced physical function. Think about that. A problem most people consider emotional can become physical, and that's where the breaking point arrives. For many seniors, the consequences don't appear all at once. Instead, they arrive through a series of seemingly unrelated events: a missed doctor's appointment, a fall that takes longer to recover from, reduced physical activity, less confidence driving, less willingness to leave home. Gradually, independence begins slipping away, and because the process happens slowly, many people don't notice until years have passed. The couple eventually realized something heartbreaking. The mistake haunting them wasn't financial. It wasn't medical. It wasn't even something they actively chose. It was spending decades assuming relationships would always be there later. They invested in retirement accounts. They invested in property. They invested in careers. But they never invested intentionally in maintaining meaningful connections. And now rebuilding those networks felt harder than ever. This is where many seniors turn to solutions that don't work. They watch more television. Spend more time online. Stay home more often. Wait for others to reach out first. Old advice tells people to rest. Take it easy. Slow down. But research increasingly suggests that excessive withdrawal often makes the situation worse. The body becomes less active. The mind receives less stimulation. The world grows smaller, and the cycle feeds itself. Here's the truth most people never hear: the healthiest aging isn't just about adding years to life. It's about adding life to years. And that's why researchers studying exceptional longevity continue finding similar patterns: strong social ties, regular engagement, purposeful activities, meaningful conversations. Community involvement. Again and again, the evidence points in the same direction. Now let's bring this back to today. If you're over 60, there are 3 actions you can take immediately. First, schedule connection the same way you schedule medical appointments. Don't wait for opportunities. Create them. Call someone. Meet someone. Join something. Put it on the calendar. Second, build one new relationship this year. Just one. Research shows that meaningful connections can form at any age. Your future support system may include people you've never met yet. Third, stay useful. Volunteer. Teach. Mentor. Help others. Purpose creates engagement, and engagement protects both physical and mental health. And here's the warning: waiting until loneliness becomes obvious is often too late. The evidence suggests that the effects begin long before people recognize them. That's why prevention matters. Not next year. Not someday. Now. But there's one more question that researchers are only beginning to understand. What if the greatest predictor of healthy aging in your genetics isn't your diet, isn't even your exercise routine, but something hidden in your daily interactions that most people overlook completely? We'll explore that surprising discovery in our next video. If this story made you think differently about your future, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe, because sometimes the biggest mistakes aren't the things we do, they're the things we assume can wait. And for millions of Americans, that's the lesson they wish they had learned decades earlier.